Oh, I am a huge fucking nerd. That's right, I'm a huge fucking nerd. I like lots of books and computers, 'cause I am a huge fucking nerd.
One-of-a-kind shades made to order by Vaporshades.com. Vaporshades designs the outer layer of the sunglasses just like a wrap on a car. They customize your sunglasses, marbling the paint. The end result is no two pair of sunglasses are alike. Yours will be completely unique to you. Check us out at Vaporshades.com. Use promo code Tuddle for 15% off your entire order. Get ready for your daily dose of Tuddle.
The all-time greatest intern/producer we've ever had, of course, Tuddle. Tuddle in Florida.
From the Vaporshades Hobo Fish Camp, it's the Tuddle Daily Podcast.
No wonder nobody likes you, Tuddle. Everything's a goddamn debate.
All right, guys, welcome back to another edition of the Tuddle Daily Podcast. I've been looking forward to this interview because we've been talking about it on this show for a while, that a lot of people are dealing with issues during this pandemic, this global pandemic that we're going through right now. And you guys know that I've dealt with mental illness and some pretty bad stuff, childhood trauma and stuff like that. And I wanted to bring my next guest on to talk to me about some things that we can do to help ourselves through this tough time. My next guest is Johnny Pardo. Johnny, how are you today, buddy?
I'm great, thank you. It's currently 8 o'clock here in the UK when I'm calling in, but thank you very much for having me on today.
So what part of the UK are you at right now?
I am I'm currently with family in a city called Exeter, but I usually live in a city called Bristol. So that's about 2.5 hours away from London, so the southwest.
Who do you support in football?
In football, we use football. So, yeah, I am a big football fan, and I actually support my local team, which is a small team called Yeovil, but I'm also quite a keen Tottenham Hotspurs follower as well.
Oh, okay. So you must be close to London a little bit then.
Yeah, it's more my dad supports Tottenham Hotspurs, so that's kind of how I got into them a little bit, and he's from there, so yes.
Yeah, I one of my favorite trips was to the United Kingdom. I went over. I'm a big supporter of Manchester United. I know, boo, Manchester United, but you know, I supported them because you got to understand, here in the United States, we don't get a wide variety of soccer matches. I don't want my audience to be confused when I say football, but Manchester United, I used to watch them, and I mean, I love Sir Alex Ferguson. That's one of the main reasons I rooted for him. So I digress. I want to get into this. Johnny, tell people a little bit about yourself and where people can check out the content that you're putting out.
Yeah, of course. So it's a fantastic opportunity for me to talk on your show. So what an honor, and hopefully I can give some value to your audience today. So a little bit about me and how I got into the whole area of self-esteem and confidence, really, and what it is I do. And then I'll go on to how people can find me. So I basically started off, I went through school, went through university and everything like that. And then I got into a working job where I was working in the public sector. Wasn't a glamorous job, but it wasn't the worst job.
What were you doing?
I was working in project and change management, which I still do. But I was working as assistant in local government.
Okay.
And yeah, so it some of it was quite dull, but I remember but I work in a good private company now. But I remember I was in a meeting one day and we were talking about some stuff, and I just remembered I'd had a lot of this. This is really boring. I just remember sitting there, almost falling asleep. I just really, in parts of my job, I was really miserable. And that got me to really think, right, what is it I really want to do in life? And then I connected with the kind of childhood of mine when I really liked to write books. And I'm an author, and I've written a few books now, but I got back into writing, and really I thought, okay, I wrote a couple of books, children's books I started off with. And then I decided, right, how am I going to grow my writing? So I've got myself a mentor, and that got me into the whole world of personal growth, looking at how I can better myself and things like that. And we're kind of looking at a couple of years ago, 2-3 years ago now. And when I was going through that, growing myself, and I decided this whole world of coaching, of doing YouTube podcasts and personal growth was really interesting to me. But through doing all of that, I discovered I had quite a lot of self-esteem and confidence issues. And actually looking back through the rest of my life, there's actually quite a lot of issues I'd hit when it wouldn't always show on the outside, but I actually had these insecurities, these worries. And that's what kind of brought me onto the whole area. Sorry, I think you're going to ask something.
Now, Johnny, I want to ask you, okay, so when I was doing my research for this interview, you were talking about self-confidence and motivation and stuff like that is like a muscle. You have to train it. But how much of our childhoods growing up plays a part in our confidence and being able to have self-esteem and stuff like that? Because I feel like not enough attention is put on kids in their adolescent years, because I think confidence and self-esteem is also a learned behavior.
Yes, totally agree. It is learned. It's so when we're children, and then through life, we have experiences that kind of create these certain beliefs. And what can be created are these limiting beliefs when we get these thoughts of I am not enough, or I might not be lovable. And yes, sometimes and a lot of our early childhood and early years can cause that. Now, from all my research, when I was really trying to pick myself up from when I was in a low state, as I kind of got into the whole area, I realized it wasn't always the case that you needed to have a traumatic experience. Obviously, if you had a bad experience at the start of your life, like perhaps one of the parents left or some kind of abuse was there, that's going to play a big role. But there could have just been one moment that happened to you. And then it creates these beliefs in our head. Now, when we create these beliefs into our head, we don't always consciously know they're there. So they could be hidden away for years, but we're doing this behavior or self-sabotaging ourselves sometimes. We don't always realize that it's coming from
I do that so much. I do this. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but when you brought up self-sabotaging, I have done that so many times in my life. And why do we do that?
Well, we do this. Self-sabotage can be for different reasons. And one of them, as I was saying, was that we don't necessarily consciously know we have these limiting beliefs like I'm not enough or I'm not lovable. Now, these were two things I experienced for many years. And it's because in our brain, we're stored away of these kind of negative beliefs, and therefore we want to be consistent with what our beliefs are. And that could be one reason. And then the other reason is we sometimes get out of our comfort zones. We start trying to do something new. And our brain is also there's a part of the brain called the limbic part of the brain. Now, this part of the brain is there to help you survive. It's not necessarily there to make you happy. And if you start doing something that's unfamiliar or new to you, your brain's doing these things saying, whoa, hold on a minute. This is new to us. Be careful. And therefore we can draw back. And that's where a lot of things like fear can come in. So to overcome that, we have to take new actions and actually understand what these beliefs are and then address them, if that makes sense.
No, it makes a lot of sense. And I've been reading a lot about this, is that, us as humans, we forget we're just animals. We are just evolved animals. And we still have that fight or flight type deal ingrained into our DNA still. And people get confused by that. I really, really do think that they do, but it's in our nature. We are nothing but evolved animals. And I think over time it might go away, but we still have that survival instinct. And when you brought up doing new things, it's new and you're on alert. You're you're always like, all right, what's going to go wrong here? What's going to happen? Am I off basis by saying that, or?
No. That's a very, very accurate and well summarized kind of statement you were saying there, in terms of we are on alert. We're kind of looking for these constant dangers, and it will apply some of the same sort of flight and fright responses as well as if you were facing that dangerous animal.
Now, Johnny, why do you think you were suffering from, had low self-esteem, low confidence? Was there something that happened to you, or some event that kind of squashed your self-confidence or self-esteem?
Yeah, so I'm glad you brought that up, because I quite openly share this as well. So for me, it was kind of, I started to work on the confidence as I got through my 20s. Now, the difference between the sort of confidence, the confidence side of things is actually you take action and then you feel confident. You don't become more confident until you do things. But the self-esteem is actually about how much you like yourself as a person, regardless of what you've achieved. Who do you like yourself, in the simplest way? But my self-esteem was very much derived from some early age. When I was 2.5, now I'm very fortunate. I know some other people aren't on this planet. I've got 2 loving parents and a sister. However, when I was 2.5, I had a baby brother who died, and I was the older brother. And that meant a lot of, obviously, upset parents, and them having to go to the hospital and leave me with strangers and family. Well, not strangers, family, friends. But for me, as a little baby, that's what I'm thinking. Obviously, as a logical 29-year-old man now, and in my 20s, I can logically see that makes complete sense. They've got to go look after my brother, and I love them very dearly. But as a 2.5-year-old baby or toddler, I'm thinking, where's my mummy and daddy? Am I not lovable? What have I done wrong? Am I not enough? And that's going away. That went away in my belief system. And it took me many, many years until diving into this stuff that I actually discovered that's what the belief was. So that's what it was for me.
I am a big Doctor Who fan, and when you said mummy, one of my favorite episodes of all time was it was something child. Do you remember the one with them wearing the face mask?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
and are you my mummy? Yeah, I was like, holy crap! I'm sorry, I'm a big nerd. So when I heard you said, I was like, oh man, that I got to go watch some Doctor Who now.
Christopher Eccleston, that was, I believe.
Yes, Chris, and that was also the debut of Captain Jack Harkness in that episode. John Barrowman, remember when Captain? Yeah, that was the first episode with Captain Jack Harkness in it.
Oh yes, I do remember. He caught Rose, didn't he, on top of the balloon?
Yep, yeah. So, Johnny, tell people once again, because I got more questions, but I'm resetting right now. Johnny Pardo is my guest on the line. He's written many books, articles that you can find online. He has a website. I think it's Johnny Pardo, correct?
Yes, it's johnnypardo.com. So Johnny JONNYPARDOE.com. Yeah.
Now, one of the things that I wanted to talk about, now when I was having you on, I look at this, you have all these people that are online, and you take them as motivational speakers. They're just out there ready to sell a book or talk and have people come and see them speak and try to make themselves feel better. Is there a difference between what you're doing? Because I'm not calling you a motivational speaker, but you also got to understand that people that that are dealing with mental illness or depression, they're like, all right, what's this guy going to do? I mean, how is he going to help me get out of this funk that I'm in right now? Do you get what I'm saying? Because a lot of these people here, I compare those, what's that guy here in America, that big hands guy, that's
Tony Robbins.
Yeah, Tony Robbins. Okay. Like, I look at him as one of these mega like pastors that you see, like Joel Osteen or something, that are just trying to make a quick buck. And I think because I read your story, and you have gone through some of the things that I've gone through, but what do you tell the people that are in a funk right now, or don't think they're good enough for stuff? How do they get that? Because it's like it's easier said than done.
Hmm.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think your question's about how do they start, and when we're sort of in this troubling phase, what we do about it. So
Mhm.
what I'm about is all about sort of promoting, helping people's self-esteem and confidence. And it's not self-esteem and confidence, it's not directly a mental illness, but if you feel rubbish about yourself, you're probably going to more likely struggle with things like depression or anxiety, because you're not going to feel so good about life or yourself, and you're not going to feel so in control. So I
Mhm.
want to kind of look at the self-esteem and confidence. Now, what I suggest is always, what I'm keen on is a big fan of habit, and actually what are your habits day to day, because your habits are what you make you. So the first point I always look at with, whether it's a new client or someone's talking to me, someone messages me, is about actually what are your habits at the moment? What makes you feel good? What makes you not feel so good? Because most of us are so busy or so used to a way that we don't always notice how much on autopilot we are and doing automatic behavior. So it's really important to look at what you're doing, what makes you feel good, what doesn't make you feel so good, and then identify more of the things that make you feel good. And I like to suggest things, because some people don't always know, ask actually, what shall I do? What's good for me? And then do less of the things that don't make you feel so good. So that's the kind of the self-esteem side I usually start off with, as well as really understanding how beneficial it is for them to prioritize their self-esteem every day. But the habit is something I'm very, very keen on and passionate about.
Um, what? See, because I'm a little bit of a different person. I've been working in radio all my life, but I still have self-esteem issues. I still have confident issues, but I have always been one of those guys. Is I'm very reckless. I know that sounds bad, but I am reckless, and I just do it. I do things, and I don't care about the consequences, and that's why I've been able to get up in front of people or talk on the radio for a living. Um, but yeah, it bothers me. It still bothers me. I get done at the end of the day, and I feel like, oh man, I really sucked today, and that stuff can kind of build up and kind of create a snowball effect sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's really, so what using the example of you there in terms of talking on a radio. So that's a good example of how you develop like confidence. I mean, imagine in the earlier stages you were more like
Oh,
kind of,
I was
you're
yeah, I was terrified.
you're terrified. But as you've done it more and more, you've began to increase your confidence and ability to do it. So with confidence, I always say, and I'll go into the self-esteem and how you feel about and talk to yourself in a second, but with confidence, as you've done, it's about taking action and then doing things that don't make you as comfortable. But you don't, some people think sometimes, okay, on confidence, I need to make this massive jump. So if we use the example of public speaking, if someone's terrified of public speaking, which is a very common fear, they're terrified of public speaking, they think, right, okay, don't do it at all, to suddenly talk in front of 100 people. Now that might be too big a jump. So with confidence, it can be quite good. And this is what I did when I was scared of even saying my name in a meeting. It just
Mhm.
be to speak in front of a small group of people, then another group, then, or before that, practicing in front of a mirror. So with confidence, it's about taking actions, but little small ones to give you momentum, because you'll get the feeling from momentum. Now, sorry, I'll let you
No, no, no,
ask
no.
your
Go ahead.
question.
Go ahead. Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
And then what it's really important with your confidence as well, to back that up, and this does overlap with the self-esteem, is the fact that you regularly reference or remember what you've actually achieved, because our brains very naturally thinks in a negative way. So
Yeah.
if you try and remember all the positive things you've done, like, what did I achieve today? What did I achieve this week? What did I achieve this month? And doing it over and over again, that'd be good, because most of us have faced so many fears that we don't even think about, like even just starting a new job, starting college, and things like that. So it's really about breaking it down and then remembering and reminding yourself of all you've achieved.
Is there such thing, we're talking about confidence though, but can too much confidence be detrimental though?
Too much confidence. So I
Like
think
you get a big head and you feel like, I'm on top of the world and nothing can bring me down. And I think when that happens, you let your guard down on things.
Yeah, I think there's always a danger of that happening. I think there's kind of some people, and I think I did get a question about this the other day, when you might have too much confidence that it becomes arrogance in terms of, right, I'm just doing it now because it makes me look good. Now there's a difference between that and actually doing something because you're comfortable with it, doing it over and over again. Now, I think there is a point where you get too comfortable, where you can get too confident with things. And it's always a good reminder to remind yourself why you're doing something and actually not getting too carried away. What are you doing this for? What's this benefit going to do you? And just checking in with yourself. It comes back to lots of self-awareness and regularly checking in with yourself, which brings me onto the self-esteem side.
So we talk about taking chances, putting yourself out there. But I also feel like people are dealing with body image, not having confidence or self-esteem when it comes to that. That's really not something you're born with what you have, is what I'm trying to say. What kind of advice can you offer to people that aren't confident about the way they look, or their low self-esteem about their body image?
Yeah, so I've seen example. One of the misconceptions I sometimes hear is that people who might be seen as a model or like famous or rich will be happy and like have high self-esteem, and sadly that's not always. Yeah, you're completely. I'm glad you're shaking your head. That's not true. No, that's not true. And we've seen kind of some dramatic examples of people really not liking their life and who they are, and actually the worst case scenarios happen. But I've also seen people very, very comfortable in who they are and just kind of making the best of what they've got in life and everything like that. So that always suggested to me that we don't necessarily, it's not about what we're born with, it's about our mindset, it's about how we think about ourselves. And it's really, really key how we talk to ourselves on a regular basis. Now, nothing, I believe, helps your self-esteem than your own praise. So telling yourself what you've done right, telling yourself the great things about you continuously is a really, really good habit to do. So if you need to do it, maybe just 3 times a day, look in the mirror, just saying, right, what do I like about me? Even if it is challenging at first. Now, it's challenging for me at first. It's been challenging for people I've worked with at first. Just praise yourself over and over again. Now, in terms of there's another point to this. It's also who you surround yourself with is absolutely critical. So if you've got people and you've got this negative image that you're feeling about yourself, but people are kind of like backing it up, maybe your friends who you're hanging out with, or maybe they're not your friends, people you're hanging out with, it's that you've got to find, where possible, the right environment to be around. So if you're with uplifting people or people who are more positive, you're probably going to feel better about yourself. So that's an important point I always try to make to people, as well as the self-talk. So praising yourself a few times a day. And the information, and another point just before we come on to your question, is about the information you listen to over and over again. Because if you're listening to a lot of negativity or just something that makes you feel bad, it might not even be intentionally negative, but something about someone, you're listening to someone's life story and you feel bad about it, or you just hear you're watching a reality TV program or something that just doesn't make you feel good and doesn't make you feel good about who you are, then you're not going to feel good. But if you're listening to things that make you feel comfortable, that might be, uplifting quotes or some good music, or maybe just your uplifting motivational podcast, then that's going to make you feel a lot better about who you are.
Now, Johnny, because I'm a big Anglophile, I know a lot of stuff about the United Kingdom and Great Britain and stuff, and they have that great old saying, keep calm and carry on type deal. Like, you think of the Brits, they just keep their head down. They don't talk about stuff. They just keep their head down and they just keep moving forward. Um, have you found, like, I mean, do people in the United Kingdom talk about this stuff? Like, is it a problem? Is what I'm trying to say.
Is it a problem in terms of not enough people talking about it?
Yes.
I think it's got better in that people are sort of sharing a little bit more. The main problem, I'd say, and this is me included, is that less men tend to be opening up to this kind of thing.
Oh, of course, dude. I live. Listen, I must sound like a real hillbilly talking to you right now. But what I'm trying to say is, and I mean that by the accent. Like, I don't think I have an accent, but I'm sure I sound very Southern. But that's the thing here in the South. Southern men in the United States, they do not talk about their issues. They just bottle it up inside. And growing up, it was like, oh yeah, oh, you're not a good, oh, suck it up, just be happy, and or have confidence and stuff. And it's not that easy though.
No, it's not. It's not easy to just suck it up and then hide it away. But I think these days there's certainly a lot more I see about encouraging people to open up, and there's more helplines available. Like we've got. I don't know if it's in the States. If you got something called Samaritans in the States,
Is that like a suicide prevention line, or you can call and talk to somebody? I don't know.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, we have that.
Yeah, it's yeah. I know there'd be plenty of other sort of like alternatives and things like that in the States, but I can't remember Samaritans was particularly in the States. Now they we have something called Samaritans. It's a very common one, like these sort of helplines. So we've got that was just one of the examples I was using, but we've got these helplines out there, and I think we're encouraging more people to open up, but I still feel there's kind of almost this like, right, I don't want to say anything because it'll make me look, a bit
It's
weaker.
going to make you look weak. It's going to make you look weak, and we're, as men, sometimes. And I've been to the United Kingdom a lot, and there's a lot of tough guys there, and I'm sure they're dealing with problems as well too. But they're not going to talk about it because they don't want their lads to think that they're weak or something.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But the point is that progress, and this is something I learned, was that progress really begins when you're truthful about where you are. Because if we can't like address what the issue is, we can't solve it. So for me personally, when I was really down and then people started catching onto me and sort of say, are you okay? Even though I was hiding it for a bit, it was very much like, yeah, are you okay? And then I actually eventually opened up and I started feeling a bit better because I started sharing and then progressing. But it is a problem that people were struggling to open up. Now, I think it's really key that people actually share vulnerability as much as possible, like who are brave enough to. And that's something I try and do a little bit to actually show it is okay to open up a little bit. And actually, when one person says they've got a challenge, another person might be suffering with a similar challenge, and it makes them think, okay, I'm not so much alone. So I'm not saying that you need to suddenly start going on social media right now and start sharing all your concerns. I'm just saying that just talking to one person may be the beginning and help you to make progress, and actually have a look out there, because there are stories of people who might be struggling with a similar situation, so you're not as alone as you think.
Johnny, man, I really appreciate the time, man. I think you got your word out there. I think people definitely need to check out your stuff, because I read through it, and a lot of it is common sense. A lot of stuff is common sense that they just need to read it from somebody else to know that they're not alone dealing with this type of issue. Tell people how they can check out your content that you're putting out, your website, books, just everything.
Yeah, of course. So the website's probably one of my less used platforms at the moment, but I'm very a frequent social media user. So you can find me on Instagram. So just type in Johnny Pardo into there, or I've got a Facebook group called the Self-Esteem and Confidence Mindset. And I've also got a podcast called the Self-Esteem and Confidence Mindset, where I'm currently releasing 3 episodes a week, which is just giving simple little bits of advice on different topics. So it might be about overthinking, might be about actually some top tips for self-esteem this week. It might be about if you've had a setback. So you find the Facebook group and also the YouTube channel and the podcast, the Self-Esteem and Confidence Mindset. So those would be the main places for people to find me if they'd like to find some more information.
Well, Johnny, man, I want to talk to you again. Hey, you're a good dude. I really think that this was a great conversation, because I'm usually the hardest on myself, and when I do an interview, I'm always like, oh man, that was shit. But it wasn't. This was highly enjoyable. It was very informative, and I want to thank you.
Well, I want to thank you very much for inviting me on the show, and I love your questions, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to reach more people.
All right, Johnny, man, I hope all is okay over there in the UK, man. And if you ever need anything, reach out to us, all right?
Brilliant. Yeah. Same to you as well, Tuddle.
From the Vapor Shades Hobo Fish Camp.
Man, maybe I would have way more sex partners in my life if I just threw caution to the wind.
It's the Tuddle Daily Podcast. Tuddle's Daily Podcast is brought to you by StitchYouUp.com. For your embroidery, screen printing, vinyl, and direct-to-garment printing needs, visit StitchYouUp.com. Stitch You Up specializes in custom caps, shirts, decals, and anything you want to personalize. Whether it's one item or large orders, they can handle any size. Unsure about what you want? Let Stitch You Up help you with your logo design. Visit StitchYouUp.com or contact them, Eric@StitchYouUp.com. Stitch You Up. Definitely not your grandma's embroidery.
All right, welcome back to the Tuddle Daily Podcast. This is an interview that I've been looking forward to for quite a while. I moved inside to my PT Cruiser to be able to record today. Oh, there we go. My guest is already ripping he's ripping the bowl. Wait, what is here, let me get to it. Fozzie, if you listen to me on the Bubba the Love Sponge show, you know Fozzie. He is the Bubba the Love Sponge super fan. Fozzie, what's up, buddy?
Hey, how you doing, Tuddle? Yeah, you're the caller of callers, if you will. Yeah, thanks for having me on your program here, and love your studio there.
Well, dude, now Fozzie, though, like I was, we just got Wi-Fi here, and Fozzie is ripping the bizzle. He's ripping the bowl right now.
A little monster cookies, if you will.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna let him get that one. You hit a big one. Hit a big one, buddy. Yeah. You hit a big one. I want to see a lot of smoke come out of that. Oh. So Fozzie, what have you been up to, man? Like, I know when I first started at the BRN, like you would bust balls and we were kind of adversarial towards each other, but like I'm really digging what you've done with your life and everything, man. You have really turned things around. It's like the comeback story in that area.
You would think so to the untrained eye. It looks like the comeback story, but it's completely the opposite of that, buddy. It's smoke and mirrors. I'm not working at Waffle House anymore.
Whoa, ho. Wait, we gotta backtrack here. What the fuck happened? What happened to the Wiz Awful House?
Well, we can revisit that if you want, but I mean, we there was impetus, and I just decided that there was pastures greener on the other side, and one of the guys he dared me. He bet me $20 to cook a booger on a flat grill, and I did it. And then they saw that on camera, and they asked me to leave. That's exactly what happened. It's tough times during COVID, Tuddle. You know how it is. A man's got to eat.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Now, have you looked into, see, a lot of people, they automatically go to the Waffle House It kind of rhymes with my name. Have you thought about working at the Huddle House? Have you ever seen the Huddle Houses?
I have seen the Huddle Houses, and the answer to that is a hard no, brother. I'm out. I'm out of the waffle game. I'm going to do something different. With COVID has got us all doing something different. I'm not exactly sure what that is. I'm going to let my faith take me in that direction. And I kind of want to turn this around and ask you about your faith, because I know over the last months and years and such, you've had some trials and tribulations, and you've been working out and over the drinking and things. And I'm wondering about how is your faith? Where's your faith at? Are you a believer?
Wait. Let me ask you this. So when you mean by faith, are you talking about religion?
Yeah. Well, religion, so to speak. I mean, it can be relegated down to religion, but your faith, you have a belief in a higher being, right?
Yeah, I mean, I believe in a higher power. I am so turned off by organized religion. Here, let me ask you this. Yeah, I've seen you post some stuff. You've talked about you watch Joel Osteen, right?
I watched Joel Osteen and some Stephen Furtick. Yeah, I use that sort of thing as a guideline. Yeah, go.
But let me ask you though, what he is doing, and I think maybe he has a lot of good, but we all know that greed is one, if you believe in the Bible, you believe in religion, greed is one of the 7 deadly sins. You don't see what Joel Osteen does. You know that they just got $4.4 million worth of, I mean, hey, I'll give him credit. He knows how to work, but he got $4.4 million worth of government assistance.
He knows how to work, cousin. He's not working for bits, if you will. You know what I'm saying?
You still got it, Fozzie. But what I'm trying to say is, I can believe in a higher power. I mean, right? I mean, I'm sure you believe in a higher power. Do you go to church every Sunday?
I do not go to church. I feel like I'm in contact with the Lord, just me in a personal relationship with me and the person upstairs, or whatever you believe. So I wasn't trying to get into a philosophical type conversation. I was just letting you know that. So I wasn't putting all my eggs in the.
My faith is good.
Right.
I will admit that through this year, I know a lot of people have been going through hard times, but it's actually been a really good year for me because I've been able to make improvements. I've been able to slow things down. I've been able to work out. I've been able to create and start this podcast, which is growing every single day. But towards the end, man, like I'm really, it's kind of weighing on me though.
That's a great callback, and that's exactly where I was going with that, Tuddle. Is I was just wondering what the basis of your comeback, not my comeback. My comeback be damned. I was wondering what you were basing your comeback on, because I've been watching your stuff. You're working out some. You're off the juice, if you will, and you're doing good. So I was wondering what is the foundation that makes that.
Okay.
Believe me, brother, I'm doing good. Waffle House has passed, and I'm curious.
I gotta tell you, you got some badass tattoos there too. Can you give us a little tour of the artwork here?
Yeah, I'll give you a little tour of the artwork. All compliments of.
Do you really have a Pete Rose tattoo on the back?
Aces and Eights on Park Boulevard. Look them up. Google it. I do. You want to see it?
Now, yeah. If you want to show me the back, I mean, but why'd you go with Charlie Hustle though?
I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio, originally, and there's a story behind all that, but I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio. When I was a little kid, Pete Rose stiffed me on an autograph gimmick. I was playing I was a little kid on the baseball team, and my team was playing Pete Rose's son's team, so little Pete Rose Jr. So little Pete Rose Jr. came, and his team whipped our team's ass, but Pete Rose, number 14, came through the Fish's parking lot right next door through a hole in the fence, and he escaped through there, and he signed a bunch of autographs, and he signed all the little kids' autographs except for little Fozzie. And so I had something deep inside of me, but still he's the hit king, and I was like, you know what? For closure for myself, I'm going to get the Hit King's tattoo, number 14 on my back. So that's what I did. Give me a second. I'll show you.
I want to show this off to people here. If you're watching on the YouTube channel, you got to pull the hair back out of the way. Man, you went all in on that one, Rose. I gotta tell you, man, I got to give you credit, man. Like, when I first met you, I don't remember you having a lot of tattoos. What made you want to go with the tattoos and stuff?
That's a good question. Yeah, all this happened. The tattoo gimmick happened in the last year and a half to 2 years. What happened was, all shit aside, I helped solve a bank robbery up in Largo. A PNC bank got robbed one Monday afternoon. The perpetrator, the guy that robbed this bank, was actually staying in the living room of a place that I was renting. Him and his girlfriend, they were there visiting for a short period of time.
Mm-hmm.
I saw the bank footage of the robber on Fox 13 News. I was dating her, and I was like, "Hey, I think that's the dude that's in there on the living room floor." Got a hold of the cops. He called me a snitch or not. $1,500 later, Crime Stoppers.
Oh, so you got the rewards. You got the banknotes.
Got the $1,500. Largo's finest came to my pizza.
Hey, is that tax free? Is that tax free, or does Uncle Sam get their cut?
I can't answer. I mean, I got $1,500 flat. So I mean, whoever.
I'm not trying to like blow you in or anything. No, I'm not trying to do that. I'm curious, like, if that's coming from the government type deal, you know.
I think that's part. I think it's part. I think it's the PNC put that up. Is what I think.
Okay. I was just curious if they actually make you pay taxes on something like that.
No, I mean, I didn't, and I don't know if I was supposed to. I didn't know it. Like true Pinellas Park fashion, I took that $1,500 and over increments of time, bam, sleeves and back tattoos. So I don't make the best decisions. That's why I work at Waffle House, for Christ's sakes.
What was the most painful tattoo?
Oh man, there's so many.
I've heard underneath the arm. I heard underneath the arm is pretty sensitive.
Yeah, that's true. Right there,
you have a hurricane cone. You have a goddamn hurricane cone on your under your arm.
That's right. Those are the cones of uncertainty, brother. You don't know what they're up. Yeah, you don't know what you're up against. Anyway, so everything's going good here, Tuddle. So, from Cincinnati, Ohio. I wanted to be in the radio, so that's kind of the emphasis of what got me into calling the Bubba the Love Sponge show. For being from Cincinnati, Ohio, I was always a fan of the radio.
Who's the big radio guys up in Cincinnati?
Oh yeah, they had Wildman Walker for WEBA, Sebastian. You had Scott Shannon. You also had on the sports side, me and my grandpa would always listen to the Big Red Machine. Listen to Marty Brenneman and Joe Nuxall on the sports baseball call.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead, Tuddle.
No, so I wanted to ask you, and I don't want people to think that I'm talking garbage. I think, Fozzie, you've been following Bubba's show, and you've seen me come and go on several occasions. I think I've been actually pretty cool this time around, right? Like I mean, I haven't talked any trash. I think that I've been keeping it pretty cool, kind of baby facing a little bit.
I got to be honest with you, bro. I mean, through this whole Radio Wars thing, the Calta, the Bubba, the what's the other LOD? What's that freaking retard?
Oh, Drew.
The whole Radio Wars thing here in Tampa, which was awesome here. At 16 for the male genre here, it's like a radio soap opera. To me, you were cool and have been the coolest out of all of them till today. You've been the most real out of everyone, and
Little Bear?
That's Little Bear. Hold on, come here, Little Bear.
I was waiting for to see
Little
Bear.
Man. Here he comes. Anyway, so to me, you've been the steadiest one out of everybody on Twitter. So yeah, there he is.
Now let me ask you: Did you and Little Bear work on that? You had him growl. So you could let him do a run-in on this, or like
that's hilarious to know. But during your review of my song yesterday, which thanks for playing it, by the way, doing a start-stop. But during the review of my song yesterday, you gave me the brilliant idea of the Little Bear run-in. I mean, he's He's going to be a sidekick there. My little what do you call it? The fucking my little wingman.
Oh no, it's your valet. They call it the valet in wrestling. You know, your valet brings you out.
But yeah, I'm always looking for something to hit. And since I don't have enough talent, Little Bear, he's got enough talent. He can get enough ass for both of us.
So how long have you had the dog for, Little Bear there?
Well, me and my roommate, we just adopted a little guy. Some foster people had him, and he's 6 years old. We got him, and like I said, about 3 months ago, and now he's just the best little thing we've ever had.
Chihuahua?
You know?
Chihuahua? Or is
Chihuahuas.
he might have a little bit something else in him, though. He
so,
doesn't
bro.
look full Chihuahua, though.
I think he's straight up Chihuahua.
Oh, he might be. But now, like, how has that been? Like, you know, because I've been seeing a lot of the videos, and tell people if they want to check you out on social media, because this is what I'm talking about. You post pics with you and Little Bear and going out for walks and stuff like that. People want to check that type of stuff out. Where can they find you?
It's all Fozzie, if you will. Spelled as it sounds, and that's fucking it.
Yeah.
Fozzie, if you will.
Now, your roommate, woman, man.
Oh yeah, my roommate. It's a 60-year-old woman. She's awesome. We met.
I mean, is she kicking it out wide for you at all, or no?
No. That's a hard no on that.
All right. I'm just saying, man. Like, I mean,
that's okay. But you know, because I'm honest, I come from the lineage of Bubba and all this, the lineage of what is great Tampa radio. So I've got to come at you real. So yes, I did actually knock boots to close the deal. So we did have relations early on, and then I felt that we'd be better friends if we wanted to really stay friends. Time, then that would be the best route, is to be friends. Because a lover or a girlfriend would be somebody that would be on the outs probably pretty quickly.
I want to talk about it. Are you thinking about getting back on the Uber train?
Man, I was thinking about that, because you know what? You were saying how 2020 has been one of your best years, and I got to be honest with you. 2020 has been my best year. I got a brand new to me 2018 Jeep Compass, which is dope to me. So I could be doing the Uber or the Lyft deal. But while I was with Waffle House during this whole COVID deal, I probably banked $7,000 or $8,000 on all the unemployment, the $600 extra and all that stuff. And I didn't spend it foolishly on tattoos. I rolled that shit right on over and got me a little vehicle. So I think I did it wisely. So as you were saying, for me, COVID has been very, very good to me. You know.
Now, are you going to get the vaccine?
Man, the vaccine, I don't know. I think I would get the vaccine. I feel fairly healthy. I got to tell you, I feel like I had the COVID early on when they first put it on us. I remember I stayed indoors, did all the gloves and the mask for a couple of weeks. And my first trip to Winn-Dixie, I went and did everything right. But when I got home, I felt pumped. For about 45 minutes, I smoked a bowl. I went to the bathroom. I sweated it out. And I swear that I beat it. So in my mind, I already got the antibodies. But to answer your question, yes, I would get the vaccine. How about you?
I don't know if I would. I don't know if I'm going to get it, because, like,
how about your mom and dad? How about that?
Oh, my dad will definitely get it. My dad's the biggest Trump supporter. He's like, yeah, sign me up. I'll get that. I'll get that shot immediately. You know. So, I don't know, man. Like, I'm trying to stay away from people as much as I can. But yeah, I mean, give it a little bit of time. I want to see what's going on with people, and yeah, I'll eventually get it.
Hey, how about my boy Tom Brady? Huh? We're going to the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, okay. So,
What do
you think their chances are, though? I mean,
man, I'm a homer like that. So at the beginning of the season, I said they were going to go 16-0.
Yeah.
So that'll tell you what I think they're going to go 3 or 4-0, and the rest of the way out and win this thing.
Okay, but I mean, you gotta understand, though, with a lot of teams, they got the tools. You cannot not bet on Brady. Brady's still good, but he's had a few error or lapse of judgments this year, not knowing what down it was on that one play during the game, and and there's been some bad games. Tom's starting to show some wear and tear.
Yeah, I mean, I give you that. That line is horrible. What is it? Donovan Smith? Is that the guy's name?
Yeah, I think it is.
That guy is awful.
How long have you been in the Tampa area?
Man, I've been here like about 30 years, Tuddle, down here from Cincinnati.
Yeah, well, I mean, okay, so, I mean, I was reading somewhere that this is the first time that all three teams, the Lightning, the Rays, and the Bucks, have all made the playoffs in the same year.
And don't forget the Rowdies. Tampa Bay Rowdies was in the like the semifinals as well.
Yes, I should have remembered that as well too. Do you think that? I mean, are you a big Lightnings fan or no?
I'm a moderate Lightning fan. I mean, I don't really watch the 82 game season. I find that long and kind of cumbersome. But around playoff time, if we're in it, then yeah, I jump on that wagon.
What do you think about the suicide bomb thing up in Nashville? There's a lot of stories coming out talking about how the guy might have been crazy, thinking that 5G is causing the coronavirus and stuff.
What do I think about that suicide bomb in Nashville? I'm glad none of our people was hurt, but I wish Blake Snell was in the goddamn explosion.
Oh God. Yeah, Blake Snell. God, what is up with the Rays? But I mean, the Rays have done that all their career or history of the franchise. They just reload. They get young, fresh talent.
I mean, I wanted to like Blake Snell. I mean, I like people that are like Jameis Winston eating W's, but I mean, he really screwed the pooch. When they were bargaining this whole baseball season and and he won the baseball World Series on PlayStation, and he was making these disparaging comments like he didn't want to play ball. Get the F out of here, dude. That's what my opinion is.
I hated that. I hated that. I'm like, man, come on. You're playing a kid's game. You're getting paid millions of dollars to do it. And then you're worried about getting hurt. You're a goddamn pitcher. You're only pitching once every like 3 or 4 days. So let's not act like you're going to put yourself in a lot of danger.
Oh, Tuddle, buddy, what is your workout regimen these days? Like when you say you're working out, what do you do?
Okay, so my producer Vulture has been helping me out because I was working out my whole body every day because I thought more is more. So I work out certain muscle groups once a day, and then I rotate them. Like today I did nothing but shoulders, back and stuff. Like yesterday I did forearms, biceps, triceps. But then I mix it in like every other day in between core, doing sit-ups, and then a lot of people don't pay attention to the legs, and that's just doing squats, calf raises, and stuff. A lot of people are like, oh, I can't go to the gym, it's shut down right now. But you really don't need the gym, in my opinion. There's so many things you can do on your own at your own pace that people think you need a gym.
Agree. I think that's the way to do it, is do it at your own pace, because to me, to go to the gym, that just gets me off the track right there. Just the idea of having to get up and go to the gym, you got me off right there. So if you can just drop and do some sit-ups and push-ups and do your routine close to where you're at, so it's not a hazard, and so it's not a chore, I think that's the way to go.
And then when I'm working out, like I don't want to be big. I want to be here. How about this? I know I'll never be there, but I always tell people I want to get close, or even 3/4 of the way close to what Brad Pitt in Fight Club was. He was lean and he wasn't really, really big, but he was muscular. And what I've been doing is I use a 15-pound kettlebell that my producer Vulture got for me, and I just do high reps. I do extra reps with low weight, and it's starting to lean me out.
Definition.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, but dude, Fozzie, I don't understand how you're killing it on that. Now what your bowl there? Did you make that yourself? Where'd you get that from?
No, I forget the name of the joint. I got it up there on Seminole Boulevard, Missouri Avenue. It's a silicone piece.
Oh, it looked nice. Wood. It looked like wood.
No, it's not wood. It's 100% silicone. It's squeezy. It's plastic. So when you can take the glass cone off, it makes it easy for cleaning. That's my gimmick there.
So let me ask you, okay? Now, I'm not trying to start stuff, but in closing, I want to. Okay, so I started off the show by saying you are a Bubba super fan. Do you still listen to the show? Do you still go on the Twitch chat? Do you still do stuff like that? And I want to hear your true opinion. No hate here, because I mean, Bubba asks people to, send in tapes and he'll critique them. So, I mean, I think it's fair enough to say you are a super fan of the Bubba the Love Sponge show. I want to get your straight, honest feedback. No hate. This is just constructive criticism on your part. I want to hear what you have to say.
This show present day about his show present day.
Yeah, present. Okay. Yeah, present day. Yeah.
Present day. Yes. Well, first I would like to say that Bubba still owes me $100 for the design of Empire Strikes Back. But that aside, this is not my Bubba army. I used to go to the Twitch channel all the time, listen to the show because I enjoy that. I enjoyed the banter in the chat, but I since got banned from the chat by Tire Choice Rick from saying some funny shit that was accurate and funny about him skimming freaking oil changes from Firestone, but it's factual and funny. But
all right, I gotta stop you there. Firestone Rick has helped me out tremendously, and I have no problems with Firestone Rick.
I love Firestone, but that is the crux of why I got banned from the channel. To answer your question, so I go and check it out, the show from time to time. I don't chat anymore, but I do like the present lineup. I didn't like Seth at first because I'm a originalist. So I was bred by Bubba to hate the other side. But after he comes on, I'm starting to like Seth, and he's growing on me. Anna, she chimes in. She's good, but I know she just does what Bubba allows her to do. Anytime she talks, Bubba shits on her.
Do you think Seth has something for Anna Hummel though?
No, I would say that's Blitz.
Nah, I don't know, man. I look in between the lines now. I want to ask you this.
One of the shows that I was listening to, it was you that was calling in pining for Anna's love.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just working an angle.
You were sniffing around the buckle brush yourself. I mean,
why do you think it is that Seth gets away with some of the stuff that he does? Like, for example, walking
because he's Bubba's last and only hope. Without Bubba, without Bubba, without Seth. Seth is a great number two. Seth understands it. He gets it. He's funny. He's got a great laugh, radio laugh. He's been in the business 25 years. He's great. He's gold. So, and so Bubba needs Seth. Seth don't need Bubba, but Bubba has. That's my opinion. But I love them all. They've been a part of my radio growth, part of my getting up every day from 6 to 10.
Do you think Seth is loyal?
I clown him and.
Do you think Seth is loyal?
I would say Seth is.
Do you think if he gets another radio job offer, or say the Lightning want him to go work for them, does he stay with Bubba or does he leave?
Well, I don't think the Lightning would make a choice. I think he would probably be able to do both, and I'm sure Bubba would let him do both. And I'm pretty sure the Lightning would probably let him do both. And I said, if I don't know Seth, so I really can't make a judgment like that. But I would say Seth would be all about Seth if I had to make a choice.
I mean, that's a fair review, man. I just, I don't listen anymore. It's not because, listen, I still think Bubba is one of the greatest. He's still a great broadcaster. He knows what he's doing. He is comfortable. He is happy with his lineup right now, and that's good for him. I'm so happy for him. I'm just, I just wanted to get a feedback from one of the listeners or supporters that are in the trenches every single day that are listening.
that wouldn't be me. I'm more of a Bubba Army Rogue One, so I'm not a troll by any means. I'm a fan from a radio standpoint. I admire what Bubba does and how he does it with all his little post-it notes and shit. I got myself some post-it notes. Getting ready for the Tuddle interview. I got me a little banner getting ready for the Tuddle interview. I did me some show prep getting ready for Tuddle interview. I'm hitting the bowl getting ready for the Tuddle interview. So all that is a big thank you to all them guys.
So what? One last thing. I know I already said that, but what is your New Year's Eve plans? What is Fozzie doing for New Year's Eve?
The Little Bear are gonna go get some bitches.
Oh, has Little Bear helped you with the crickets?
Not yet, but I'm working that angle now.
Yeah, I
Yes,
really think you can do that. Hey, Fozzie,
Yes.
I think we were dancing pretty well there, kid. I really do. I think we were dancing right there.
You danced a little bit. You're gonna cut that up, right?
No, I let it rip, man.
Oh, okay, sweet.
I let it rip. The real deal, Holyfield. That's what I do. Fozzie, tell people once again if they want to check you out, how can they find you?
Save your fucking time and don't do it. Check out Tuddle Podcast Daily instead.
All right, Fozzie,
Peace.
buddy. I love you. Let's do this again, okay?
Let's do it. Love you, mean it, Tuddle.